Here are some of the tools and materials I use in the electrical installation. I'll start at the top with the conduit. Below that is a conduit bender. Then to the left there is some THHN wire, which is meant to be used inside a conduit. In the middle is an MC cable whip that's made by Southwire. And then some other odds and ends like electrical outlets, metal boxes, and some connectors. To cut the conduit, I used a Husky pipe cutting tool since I don't have a conduit cutter, and that worked out fairly well. I did have to use a deburring tool to clean up the ends of the pipes after I cut them. Okay, so I'm going to begin the electrical installation for the heater. And I'm going to tap into a 20 amp circuit I have in the garage here, which currently only has these two outlets on it. So I'll be replacing the box over here with one of these square metal boxes. That's going to be surface mount. And then I'll carry the conduit back the opposite direction towards the heater, and eventually I'll have a switch on the wall for the heater. Okay, so of course I had to do a little more surgery than I expected. I had to rerun this cable here because the old cable was a little too short since I'm relocating that box slightly. So I've got that done now, and I'm going to go ahead and pull the wire through as soon as I get the drywall up. I've cut a 1-inch hole here using a spade bit. And then I've got the new box with a clamp attached. So that's going to fit like that, right inside that hole there. So I'll go ahead and put this up now. Okay, so I've got the box installed, and then I've got a compression fitting on the end there. I'm making a 10-degree offset bend in the conduit so I can attach it to the connector on the box. So I use this calculator to determine the spacing between the bends. So what you can see there is I put in 1/2 inch as my offset. My bend is 10 degrees. And then it told me that the spacing between the bends is 2 7/8 of an inch. And that there's no shrinkage, meaning that the bend won't make the pipe shorter. Okay, so I've started the conduit run, and this is the first time I've ever bent conduit, so it appears to have turned out okay. I've got two 10-degree bends there, of course a 90-degree bend there, and then up above another 90-degree bend. That's going to carry the wire over that way to the heater. And I've got a bunch of straps that I'm putting in now also. From what I understand, you need to put in one strap within 3 feet of the box and then every 10 feet after that. Okay, so I've got the conduit installed as you see there. Goes all the way over to the box that's near the heater. So I'll start running wire and get all the switches and outlets put in. Alright, so I'm ready to wire everything up now that I've got the wire pushed through the conduit. So I'm going to run the power wire to the GFCI. It's all the wire that's coming from the panel. And then I'll feed all of the items on the circuit off the GFCI. And I'll just pigtail everything. Okay, so I've got the switch and the MC cable installed. I do need to put some straps around the MC cable to secure it. And over here on the back of the heater, you can see the cable runs right there into the heater. I do need a silicone around that because I am running in separated combustion mode, so I need to make sure this is a fully closed system. So what I'll do now is go inside the heater and show you all the hookups inside the heater for the line voltage. Okay, so I'm finishing up the hookups here inside the heater. So you can see these wires here that are coming in from the wall. This here is the neutral, it's labeled L2. This is the hot, it's labeled L1. And then for the ground, there's actually a ground screw right there, so I'll probably put some sort of a terminal connector or something on the ground wire after I pigtail it. Before you install the side panel on the heater, you have to add the foam gasket material you see there. That comes with the Concentric vent kit. So the side pieces are 12 3/8, and then the top and the bottom pieces are 18 3/8. The MC cable straps have been installed, so I've got one right there within 12 inches of the metal box by code. There's one there and one here. And the straps that I use are by Halex. Part number is 26211, and they're single hole straps. And then for the rest of the run, I just zip tied the MC cable to the super strut, as you see there. So here's some video of how the gas lines looked before the plumber showed up. So the gas line for the heater's been installed. It's right there, it's teeing off the existing line. The plumber did mention that the main line that comes into the garage from the meter is only 3/4 of an inch, and it should be 1 inch because of all the appliances that I have on that gas line. I do have the potential for 1 inch line at the meter, so I'll have that upgraded later. So this line goes up that way and over the rafters there, and then it terminates over by the heater. So I'll take you over there and show you the termination over there. There's the gas valve there. There's a drip leg that the plumber installed, and then this flexible gas line runs to the back of the heater. Okay, so here are the thermostat hookups on the back of the heater. You can see that the white wire goes to W1, the green wire goes to G, and then the red wire goes to R. And I'm using 18/5 cable, so 18 gauge 5-wire cable. And I clipped off the last 2 wires after I stripped off some of the sheathing. Okay, so I've got the thermostat wire all tied off there, as you can see. And it goes back over this way. And then when it gets there, I use some low voltage staples. These Gardner Bender staples. Part number is PSB-1600T. Got these at Home Depot. Those work pretty well. And so that goes along the ceiling joist there, all the way back over to right over there where the thermostat's located. So I'll take you over there and show you that. In order to secure the thermostat wire to the wall using the low voltage staples, I had to remove the 5/8 inch nail that goes through the staples, drill the hole in the staples a little bit larger, and then insert a 2-inch 6-penny nail so I could nail into the wall studs. So here's the thermostat that I purchased. It's the Lux TX9600TS, and it's a touchscreen thermostat that has a blue backlight when you touch it. I got this thermostat for $30 on Amazon. It was used, so that was a pretty good price. and it seems to work fairly well. So I want to show you a couple things I had to do to get this thermostat hooked up. So first of all, to open it, you just push the middle tab with your thumb and then pull back with your fingers on this part here. But one thing I had to do is, as you noticed on the back of the heater, the wires are W1, R, and G. Those are the hookups. But every time I tried to hook it up like that on this thermostat, only the fan would come on. So I kind of remembered reading about some of the hookups on the back of thermostats not being universal, and I decided to change the white wire to W2 to see how that would work, and that actually did the trick. So I was able to get the heat to come on. Right here I had to drill a hole, 1/4 inch hole through here to run the wire up through there, because normally the hole would be drilled in the drywall here and the wire would pass through that hole. But since I have the wire surface mounted, that obviously means that it won't go through the back of the mounting plate. So I drilled a 1/4 inch hole there, and I had to do that strategically by looking at the circuit board and figuring out exactly where I could make that hole and have the wire go up through this channel here. So I'm going to go ahead and switch on the power to the heater, and you're probably wondering why the switch is mounted so high, and that's because I plan on mounting a TV on this wall, and I figured I'd just put the switch and the 2 outlets in the same box. Okay, so I'm going to switch on the thermostat now, and it's set for 70 degrees. So you can hear the heater kick on there. I'm just waiting for the igniter to come on next. And the fan just came on. So that just about wraps up this heater installation, and I hope the information that I provided was helpful. Thanks for watching.